Hello, cutie pies. Welcome in. Come up on the bed. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up, Shredder. Anywho, hello, welcome in. Thanks for everyone who's been liking my videos. This week has been nuts, so I was planning to do a video every day, but that didn't happen. Maybe I should do every other day, because I think under planning is better. I usually over plan, because some days I might be able to do it, some days I won't. But maybe I should underplan, and then the days that I want to just do more, I just do more. But anyway, welcome in. Thanks for those who've been watching my videos and been commenting nice things. Thank you. You guys are great. Truly, like, I don't know. I was nervous to start YouTube stuff, but I'm really grateful because you guys have been a really great community so far. And as I've said before, to be honest, I don't feel very welcome in the TikTok community. I don't feel very welcome. No, I don't feel very welcome in the TikTok girl community, I would say. So it makes me not feel very welcomed on the app. But nonetheless, I just appreciate those who do make me feel welcomed and seen, heard, whatever. I'm so grateful for it. Anyway, so I've been gone. I've been dealing with my freaking rental company. I paid like a weed fee for them to do my yard in April. Because I got transferred to them in January, and then sometime around then, I got my first HOA violation for the weeds. And I didn't know I was in an HOA until I got transferred. So it gives me the feeling that someone else took care of my yard before, but nonetheless, paid for my weeds, whatever, even have like proof and confirmation of it, that they received my check and everything like that. But now they're trying to say I didn't pay the fee. Dun dun dun, which I don't care. I document everything with email. If you rent, never give them a call. I don't care how nice they are. I say always communicate through email. Just so you can, document stuff. So, because even if they called you, I feel like they could say that wasn't me. Like, you can't verify that was me on the phone, blah, blah. Through the email, you can verify, obviously. Unless someone, like, sat at your desk and used your email, Anyway, they're trying to take me to court. I'm happy to go. Let's go, brother. So, because they're just wasting money. Do I take really long? Do I filibuster? Is that what you do in legal meetings? Do I make it, like, a long time so that they have to pay more for their attorney? If it's, like, on retainer, is it per hour? I don't know. Anyway, they're trying to take me to court, so I've been trying to find this fucking legal packet that they want to give me, except I can't find it. They tried delivering it, didn't get delivered. I rescheduled it for delivery, didn't get delivered. I went to both post offices twice. They don't have it. So what the fuck? So anyway, that's kind of what I've been doing the last few days, is dealing with that. I'm not too concerned about it. It's annoying and stressful, though, for sure, because they have all the email proof of this, and I forwarded it to them. And I even said, so you guys are coming at me and trying to evict me rather than doing your job and reading the fucking emails that you literally sent to me. How do you not remember this, Henry? Anyway. That's what I've been dealing with, so it's whatever. It's just hard to do videos during that, and also dealing with my health. I'm not quite walking yet. Well, I am, but very gimpy. Right now we're in a good state, though. It's more of like, I am gimpy, but walking doesn't hurt as bad, but what still hurts is the initial getting up. There was a point where I could just get up and walk to the bathroom. And I put my scooter in the garage. I was still gimpy, but that's where we're at. So I got a coffee for today, for a little treat today. But I've been really good about my diet, but we're just going to go extra ham on the diet. So even though my joints hurt, it's just my hip, initially when I get up, they don't hurt as bad. I'm still gimpy, as I say. I'll do a walking update today, but they don't hurt as bad once I get, like, kind of warmed up and moving. So since in that state, when I'm, like, moving and kind of limbered up, I can kind of actually put weight and strain on, like, the tendons, because I did kind of a half RDL with my body weight the other day with more weight on this leg, and I was like, oh, I can actually do it. It doesn't even hurt that bad. It hurts, to like extend a little further than I could. I'm not all the way there yet, but I was never able to even get into the position of an RDL for both hips. At this point, I've only been able to work out the right side, but I don't want to work it out too much because I don't want to look like Quagmire in that one episode where he figures out there's internet porn and he comes out with like his arm is all buff. I don't want that to be my leg, where one leg's super skinny and one leg is super buff. I got the ass on me on this side, but this side is nothing. So I want to make sure when I do get back to working out, it's kind of more even so I don't have to do like the counter thing, you know. I already do like single leg things because I think that's a great way to build muscle and stuff, but I don't want to like, I don't know. I'd rather catch up on both sides and then progress together. You know what I mean? I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a rush. I like my body now and I'll love my body even more then. But with my health and that shit with the court, that's what I've been dealing with. So we'll see what this lore gets us. I never thought this would happen. I'm like, are you fucking serious? I literally sent you proof, Henry. I have a conspiracy theory. I think big companies hire very incompetent people. Maybe not incompetent, but people who they just don't care who they hire, I think. And they do that for a reason because then they're not liable for the this is room spray, but there's gnats that keep bothering me. So like even though it's their fault, I think there has to be like some legal loophole because they really have a lot of incompetent people. And I'm so confused how they're so incompetent. I'm like, is this all it takes to get hired as the manager there? Shit. Let me go fucking take Henry's job. That'd be so cool. Anyway, so that's what I've been dealing with. But I'm grateful. Thank you everyone who's been, you know, subbing to my stuff, watching my videos. If you want to sub to my stuff, it's for 18 and plus, 21 plus, I'd honestly say. So check it out in my link tree if you don't want to look at that stuff. That's cool too. I don't blame you. Yeah, just feel free to watch my shenanigans. Thanks for being nice and sending good support and whatnot. Look at this. Oh God, choked on my spit. Look at this moonstone. I'm trying to find the shiny part. I think it's this part. Yeah, it is. Oh, I love that. No, hold on. I'm trying to get you guys to catch it. But I don't think I have a front flash. Like specifically right here, you can kind of see. It gets like a glimmer, but I'm trying to get it without the, I have a LED right behind me. Or in front of me. Never mind. But, anyway. So, today's Thursday. I was gonna do a, Adventure Time video, but I still have to get groceries and get some stuff for that. So, we'll still be doing that. I'm gonna do it probably tomorrow along with another food thing. So we'll have, maybe tomorrow will just be a food day. We'll do my smoothie and I'll show you guys because I have now a new smoothie that I do. My smoothies go in phases. So I think this will be fun to talk about and give you guys info on how I've healed my gut and slowly going into remission. But today I actually want to talk about people pleasing. Okay? Because that's a big reason why I'm in this, in a good place in life, okay? And it's because I stopped people pleasing. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, I know a lot of this stuff might not be textbook, but I'm just going to tell you what helped me because, truthfully, a lot of textbook stuff has never helped me. So that's a big reason why I talk about these random little things because, you know, for instance, I remember at one point someone came into my channel and was like, how do you get rid of anxiety attacks? Like, how would you? And pretty much what my answer is like, I know where my anxiety stemmed from. It stemmed from the people around me. It stemmed from the environments that I was in that triggered certain things in me. So I understand sometimes that can be workplaces, that can be family, and that's not an immediate, cutoff for some people. Some people live with their family. So to me, the immediate answer would be, okay, find the source of the anxiety. It's always going to be you, right? There's people who are going to trigger you, but you can't, necessarily deal with those triggers and heal from that if you have someone who's constantly just, fine with triggering you. People who care about your triggers and they don't want to do those things, right? So what I told them that I would do for myself is, if I could, I would just cut off what's giving me the anxiety. Job, cut it off. Okay? You're going to put yourself in such a stressful state of mind eventually, that, find something that internally makes you happy and excited. Nervous and anxiety are normal with like new jobs and stuff like that, but find something that gives the excited nervous and not the I don't feel like this is me kind of like energy. I'm just doing this because I don't want to be poor, I don't want to be without money, etc., etc. And the good thing about this side note is, if you're into manifesting and stuff like this, I feel like this plays a part in like root belief systems. And even if you're not into manifesting magic, it's all explained by quantum physics. Okay, it can be converted into science if you believe it in that way. If you believe in Christianity, it's prayer, it's believing in God. To me, I believe in it all. Sometimes I even pray to Shrek because I don't even fucking know what's up there, dude. So, like, what my prayers look like, this is what my prayers look like. It's very not prayer. Like, it's not like a Christian prayer, but maybe I'll be eating and I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for this food. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Uncle Frank, because I really love my Uncle Frank. He's my grandma's brother. They were my top two favorite people in the world. I'm like, thank you, Shrek. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Flying Spaghetti Monster. Thank you, God. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Goddess. Anyone who's up there. Thank you for making this happen. Because it's not that I don't believe in God. I just believe that God is more than one person and comes through in so many ways, so many forms, and so many people have God with them, and maybe through lifetimes become more aware and conscious of the power and are able to utilize that. I think we all have those gifts in us, but this planet is a prison. No, I'm just kidding. But kind of, yeah, it's a mental prison. So right now, I don't have money to give to people. It bums me out because not used to, like, I plan to do it again I want to do it this month. But I really enjoy feeding the homeless because it really helps me keep connected with the social issues going around me, A. B, it will always fucking make me sad seeing these people, and I just feel like, okay, they're hungry. And I've been doing this long enough. Most people who are not hungry, who don't want your food, who really want money, they will turn down your food. They will turn it down. It happens. It's nothing. And I actually appreciate it more. Sometimes it feels awkward. I'm not going to lie because I'm like, okay. But I appreciate it because they know and I know that this food would be better off, in this case, to someone who would actually eat it. Not that they don't deserve it or anything, but if they're not going to eat it and they know they're not and they're like, nah, I'm like, okay, let's go then somewhere else, find someone else. So I just wish them well and do a little prayer in my mind for them. Like, I hope they stay protected and, they're able to make it through whatever has put them in that position. I could never judge because God knows I would never want to be in that position. And I think every single one of us are closer to that position than being a millionaire or billionaire, I'd like to think any day now I'm going to wake up and I'm going to have 1 million subs or whatever, and I'm just going to, yes, but I don't have that. And, even then, I think if I did, I still would have the same in common because I'm not a part of the rich world. I don't know yet really how to invest. When I have a lot of money, I don't know how to invest that. I don't know the only thing I think of is like buy a lot of guns. That's just because I come from a military family. It's not that I'd use them, but I know that guns don't depreciate as much as a lot of other things. And I know when you get a bank account, most of them only insure up to $250,000. So that's the most I know. There's a whole nother world beyond this class that I'm not even, So, anyway, I wish I got 2 coffees. I kind of did. I kind of do. I don't know. good that I only drink one, though. Coffee actually makes my joints hurt. So, I gotta, like, only drink it, like, once a week. Oh, God. But, you know, if anything, because a big part of my channel, of any channel that I've started, is showing the process. I start when the process is hard and I know what I want to do, but I'm not there. I start when I'm there and people will make fun of me. Dude, it was so, people were relentless. They still are on TikTok. Get a job. Like, there's one guy who comes on every so often to bother me on a new account. And he has, like, on his main account, he wants to be a Twitch streamer. So, you know, I just see us projecting, but nonetheless, you know, trolls and stuff are ruthless, but when you really know what you want and you know that you deserve it, you just go after it. It doesn't matter what people think, because people, a lot of people you'll find don't even do things for their own happiness, and I wish they would. I remember in Wisconsin, I was so new to the bar world, so I love drinking. I'm not there was a point in time when I definitely went overboard with alcohol because it helped my joints. It still does. But I know it's not good for my system. So on days that I hurt, I kind of use alcohol as medicine. Because what happens is, like, if I drink a beer or two today, today and tomorrow, I will feel a lot better. So if I had eaten something, like, say, I ate, like, a bowl of pasta and the flour in it, like, really fucked with me, I would drink a beer, even though beer fucks with me, I would drink a beer right then to alleviate the pain. Like, this is what I do now. And this only happens when, like, I eat bad food, like ramen, okay? So, usually I'll get a beer at ramen, and then I know the next day my joints will hurt, so I'll get another beer, because that kind of helps somehow. Like, 2 beers is the limit. I can't even stomach more than 2 beers. But, so 1 beer, too little. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it'll help for that day, but the next day it will make my joints a little more achy. But 2 beers, it'll help that day and it'll help the next day. And then the third day, it's, like, really bad. So I'll just stay in bed and kind of do, like, video editing and stuff and whatever, like, in bed TikToks and stuff. And then by the fourth day, we're fine. So I used to use alcohol as, like, a really, you know, too much, way too much. Like 750 milliliter, like those big things of Sailor Jerry is what I used to drink. I'm pretty sure that caffeine makes my nose itch. Every time I freaking drink caffeine, it makes my nose itch so bad. Just like the tip of it. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure. At first, I thought it was the strains that I was puffing on, but I was like, I don't know if it is. And I know caffeine is a stimulant, so maybe it's like something with the nerve endings in my nose. Anyway, so, I don't know where I was going with that. Shocker. Anyway, but, when I was in Wisconsin, I was new to the drinking world. I had been introduced by the guy I was dating, so we went to bars, and I remember asking a lot of people. I would just sit there and be like, you know, if you had all the money in the world, you know, what would you do? What makes you happy? Literally no one knew. And then there was at one point, no one had an answer ever. And that shocked me, because I've always known what I wanted to do. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'll get there, you know? So, and if you're new, I want to have a restaurant. It's like a $4 million startup restaurant. So where am I going to get that? I don't know. But I do have platforms, so I hope eventually I'll get there. But nonetheless, here to show the process, because, like I said, that's a big part of my journey. I think it impacts more to show you guys that I can do it rather than just telling you what I did and how I did it. You know, I think you guys will appreciate the journey even more, and you will see I'm just very open about things that happen in my life, health-wise, anything-wise, okay? Because I know there's someone else going through what I'm going through. I'm not the only one in the world, you know? So I hope to find a community of people who can understand what I'm going through. Maybe they're going through similar, whatever it might be. So, and if I can help in any way, I want to. And right now, you know, my hip is feeling better today. So I know this week with everything, it's just going to, this weekend and whatnot, keep getting better. So, because it's already getting better. Like, there's little things that happen, like getting into the car is easier, or feeding the dogs is easier, and stuff like that, because I bend over and give them their food and stuff. So we're getting there, but there's so many things I just don't mind starting when I'm not perfect, and I really preach that. Start when you don't have to start when you're ready. I don't advise starting when you're ready. Just start. When you get the idea, just start. Just do it. And that sets in motion for so many habits in the future. When you get an idea, you learn how to trust yourself and the gut feeling that comes with it, and just get going. A lot of people don't get going because they don't really trust it, or there's some things that take money, obviously, with like a restaurant. Like, I can't just get going on that, right? As though I am trying in a like background method, of course, but for now, this is the most I can do, and I know I can monetize off this eventually. I'm not yet, but nonetheless, hopefully we'll get there. So that's why I'm grateful for you guys watching my videos, because the more people who watch my videos and subscribe, the closer I am to that goal. So, yeah, but, I think I've seen this stuff on TikTok where people are like, I now know why, bad people get their way, blah, blah. And here's the thing is, a lot of people think because you don't help them, you're bad. Because they don't show up the way you want them to show up, they're now the bad person. And that's something on you, right? And a lot of people don't recognize that. They don't want to admit that. They want to put the blame on, oh, you didn't show up in this way, so I couldn't do this. When really the decision revolves around you making the decision to do what you want, when you want, but you like to, a lot of people like to place the responsibility on other people because they know that those people will let them down in those aspects, and they want to be let down, funny enough. Like, they don't want that to happen, so they'll put it on other people's shoulders. Like, I'll put an example for this. So I'm watching My 600-Pound Life, okay? And there's one girl who anything bad would happen, she'd be like, why are you doing this to me, Christian, to her boyfriend. And little does she know, probably in that time, she didn't understand that she was doing this to herself. There'd be times when he would respond just normally, and she would snap at him so mean, and she'd be like, I don't want your attitude, and then when he wouldn't help her a certain way, like there was one point where she fell out of the car because the car was too small, and then she ended up blaming him. Why did she blame him? He didn't have anything to do with it, but it was really because she felt embarrassed. She felt embarrassed about the situation, and she knows deep down that the situation is because of her. It's because of the internal issues she's dealing with, right? But a lot of us think it's easier to blame people around us. And I learned from a young age, just because I've always had to be on my own, that I can't do that. I have to really sit there and look at me and look at what's going on. And there's so many situations in my childhood that have just habitually formed that as my thought. So now that's just like my rip the band-aid off method, or dive in the deep end, because the second you start blaming external things, you're gonna go on a path that's just 10 times more suffering, I feel like, than you really deserve. And that's why I preach the lean into it method, right? And you'll hear that a lot, okay? I don't know what to call it, but I just call it that. Like, just lean into it, okay? It's gonna suck either way. It's gonna suck, okay? It sucks to eat healthy, but it also sucks to be overweight. For me, it sucks to eat healthy, but it also sucks when I eat junk food because it hurts my joints, and that is painful. So, choose your suffering, pretty much. But there's also plus sides to what you're going through, okay? Like, okay, maybe you are overeating, but I'm sure the food is fucking delicious. And you can turn that into a moderation thing. You don't need it all the time, right? And vice versa. Like, eating healthy is good for your body. Great. Anyway, so I think a lot of us, don't really realize our internalized issues, and it's not an attack if you have any. I've had a lot of them, and I still probably have tons of them that I'm unaware of. So I'll learn through those, and the ones that I've learned through, I'll speak my truth on, and I hope it helps someone, because I think my generation is and younger are becoming more self-aware. A lot of people who are the generation before us or older, it's taken them quite a while to break out of the generational habits and stuff like that, right? um like for me, there came a point where I just really wanted to live alone, because in no time could my grandma live alone, and I just really wanted to relish in it, because my grandma was so important to me, and I kind of just lived my life in honor of her. Like, you know, she was such a good woman. It would not stray me wrong, right? So I just want to take advantage of the things that she never got the opportunity to have. And there's times when she would just stress, just, you don't have to date anyone. You don't have to be, look at the time that you're in. And I never understood, I was like, what do you mean, grandma? Anyway, now I understand. I understand now. And that's where I'm happy to live alone. I love it. Ugh, it's so nice. Anyway, but I think, as I was saying before, a big part of the reason why I committed to that, and I think a lot of women can understand that. I don't think a lot of guys can. Maybe they can, but a lot of women can feel with that more. And the reason being is because we're taught to mold ourselves to men. Christian or not, that's just kind of what the society deems, like, you got to be the right hand tool for any man. Just be what a man wants. And we want to be what we want to be. So the second we start embracing that, it feels good. And then we realize we can have our homes the way we want. And a lot of guys I've been with are very inconsiderate. They leave their garbage. And it's small things like that. Like, my guy friends wouldn't even notice, but sometimes they leave, pieces of garbage around. But that's immediately like a no-go for me. And that's enough to put you in the friend zone. Like, that's cool. But I'm not your mom. Like, I'm not going to date you and clean up after you. And a lot of women don't want to do that anymore. They're realizing a lot of this is just being a man's maid and then sex object, while they run around and text other people, whatever. Now, is every dude like that? No, okay. But a lot of women are waking up to the fact that we are just the tool for men, so men can get what they want in life, right? We want what we want in life too. This is not like I don't know what the word is, where like never say never, like you can't make those, is it like exclusive statements? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really say always, you can't really say never, or forever, because it kind of doesn't exist. But there's always a variable. But anyway, so I realized at a young age that, the external factors were affecting me. And I really need to get away from them and figure out what was going on with me. I was like, what was that squeak? It's a little spongy. She probably just woke up because beef. But anyway, so, I think a lot of us come from a family where if we do something that our family doesn't want, then it disappoints them. But my father has been enough disappointment to my grandparents that my grandparents just entered the game very lovingly with us, very all accepting, whatever it is, it is. And I think that really was a benefit to myself, at least, because then I could explore whatever I wanted. And my grandma just kind of leaned into what me and my brother's likes and dislikes were. Like, even during the summer, she would make like a summer program for us at home. And like, she knew what we liked. She knew I liked reading. So it'd be like 2 hours of reading, 2 hours of learning a new recipe, 2 hours science experiment, because I like science shit. And then like the reward at the end of the day was like ice cream cone or something with grandma. And then there'd be like chores involved, like clean the bathroom and then go outside for things like that. And it was so fun. I loved it. She really catered it to me and my brother's likes and dislikes and whatever, and I loved that. So I think it became kind of normal for me to just do what I wanted. And my grandma always said the saying, oh, you really marched to your own beat, huh? Yeah. I was always like, yeah, like I don't get what that meant. Doesn't everyone? And I guess not everyone. So now as an adult, I'm just kind of committed to helping people find their own beat and, figure out where that is, because I think through school and everything like that, societal terms, we're really morphed into one box to be one beat. And a lot of people are not that beat. They're not that plant, they're not that whatever is meant to, it doesn't apply to everyone. So, and I think a lot of people struggle because we're all fear and survival driven kind of at this point, and that's the point of things. And you got to break out of that and trust enough to break out of that. But that really stems from fixing the people pleasing and like the anxiety. So back to the anxiety thing though. For me, my remedy, I just wanted to say if it helps anyone, but like some girl, she had like taken schooling for this, and she was like, you got to put your hands above your head, blah blah. You got to do this, this, and this. And the thing is why I don't hate those techniques, and I don't hate anything. I don't dislike anything, but I think the whole point of my channel is to go a very not so known way, because that is what has helped me. So while her answer was very textbook, my answer is, if you can't get away from the people in your environment, if you can't get away from the triggers, then you need to make a safe environment. And there's different, like, good feeling things in your body. There's oxytocin that your body produces, there's serotonin, dopamine, and cortisol. Now, some of these, or like some of these come from, like, yeah, you can eat like some cookies or, stuff like that. I think that produces cortisol. So, like, and sometimes when we feel anxious, it's an imbalance of that because we're so used to our cortisol level being up here. And cortisol is like an anxiety type chemical in our body, right? So if it's not up here at all times, then if it kind of is like calmed down, then we start feeling like, oh God, what's gonna happen? Because we feel like something's gonna spike the anxiety. It's very abnormal for us to be down here when it's always up here. So usually I think, okay, you got to figure out kind of where your cortisol levels at, and that's kind of where I've understood with coffee how to determine where my cortisol levels are at by my body, how it's reacting, and whatnot. I've been very stressed this week, so that's where I'm like, okay, I kind of don't mind a coffee because the stress is making my joints freak out. The coffee is gonna do the same thing, but it's not gonna kill my joints. So I got some coffee, but I think when you have this, make sure your environment hits on all four of those, okay? Get a soft blanket or a plushie, and I think that hits on serotonin, and I think dopamine is like a good show, good music, you know? Maybe, and that looks different from person to person. Sometimes I literally meditate to metal music. Whatever I feel a call to and like I'm able to get in a different like trance with, I will meditate to it. So it doesn't have to be meditating music. Maybe it's old 90s rock. Maybe it's soft 80s rock, I don't know what it looks like to you, but something of the media type. Maybe it's TikTok. People will hate on TikTok a lot, but if you can ensure that your For You pages and your algorithms are completely curated to good mental health, then it will be a good thing for you. There was a bit where I had to really curate my stuff. I was sick of seeing cases about, PEDOs, and I get that gets the views, but God, I'm sick of fucking seeing about it, and it weirds me out even more when I see dudes who make their whole channel about it. That weirds me out. But nonetheless, I'm sick of seeing it, and I'm sick of seeing murder cases. I'm sick of seeing things about the world just being destroyed. I'm sick of seeing stuff about trafficking, anything that feeds that fear and stuff. So I've really curated my stuff to be, animals, cooking, whatever. So really be intentional about what your media is like and make sure it is really actually boosting the whatever in a good way, because what algorithms are really known for to keep you hooked is to keep that they'll good stuff, you're laughing, that dopamine or whatever is really up there, and then all of a sudden they'll hit you with a sad video and that just drops. And then all of a sudden the next video is like super happy, super funny. and that just raises your dopamine level. And so you're used to it, creates almost the same effect as like a narcissistic relationship would, okay? That's kind of how I correlate it, like the highs and the lows, like, and your body gets used to the chemical roller coaster. So you become kind of dependent, addicted in a sense for it. You seek it, you know. So you keep scrolling until you get that good dopamine hit, and then, or whatever, you know. So it's really important that you curate it just all to be positive. Don't let the algorithm know you're affected by this negative shit. Just block it. Not interested, block it, okay? Don't cry about it. Don't even watch it. I will see videos pop on my feed that are like talking about, you know, homeless pets or homeless people. I can't anymore. No, okay? And a lot of people with people pleasing think, okay, the whole give a shirt off your back means something so good. But a lot of us, that is our only shirt. Okay? Metaphorically speaking, that is our only shirt. A lot of us, okay? And we think it makes us look good to give the shirt off your back. And it does. It's commendable. I think it defines it tells a lot about your character, okay? You see a person in need and you're willing to help, right? But, that can really destroy you. And a lot of times people will be so eager to help people and it'll be the wrong people. And when you need help, they're nowhere to be found. And I think a lot of people can relate to that because I was going through that. You know, I needed help and there's no one who was willing to help me. And I just had to like figure out why I was getting people who were leeching off of me when I had nothing. And it's because I was offering everything when I had nothing, you know, and it's because I felt like I was undeserving. If they did something nice, oh my God, I can't believe you're treating me like an actual fucking human. Let me give you everything and then some, you know. Here's my social security number, my bank account, you know, whatever, have it. Just thanks for being nice to me, you know. Because at that point, there were so many people I'd run into that just were so mean to me and just took advantage of me. And then they would be even more mean to me and I would fall into these traps and I really had to figure out why, you know. And there's a big saying in like the military kind of world, like, you don't really, they do knife hands because if you point, there's always like, you know, fingers pointing back at you. So that's kind of where I learned that from, in a sense, like as a saying to really stick it in my brain, because it really is so much easier. It's difficult at first, but it's so much easier to really be like, okay, I am literally the root of all my problems, right? They all stem from me. So because your problem could be someone else's problem and maybe they don't see it as a problem, right? So you're the one viewing it as a problem. This is like the you issue. So, you know, oh my God, there's like a gnat and I'm trying to kill it. Once again, this is not kill spray. It's just air freshener and it does kill it eventually. I'm just sick of them being around me. I don't know where they're even coming from. But oh, back to the anxiety thing. Let me finish that thought, okay? So if you are having anxiety, you can't get out of the situation, you can't just up and leave your job. And I want to remind you, you can, okay? Maybe you don't have rent right now or anything, but there are tons of ways to just make money on the spot, okay? People will be like, oh, how? Okay, post a video on TikTok. Most people don't like the idea of asking for help because they say, oh, they think it makes them look weak, it makes them look whatever. There was a point where I felt that. I remember feeling that, but I really needed help. I was going to lose my home and everything, and I was extremely sick. So I had to ask for help. I just had to say whatever. And the thing that I've learned is that the people who hate on me are the ones who don't know how to ask for help. I remember someone coming into my stream because I was streaming for rent, and they're like, yeah, what about the people who need help? And I'm like, you're literally talking to them, you know? People assume because of the way I look and whatever, I don't know what it looks like online, that things are just like so peachy keen, I'm wealthy, just getting money. And even then, if that's your job and you're making hella money streaming, keep doing it. I'm sure you also don't fucking care about people like that anymore. But people like that, they're just so close-minded. You run into them a lot. Disappointing, because it was like the first time I've been introduced to people like this is through my online journey. So it's always baffling to me. But with the anxiety thing, though, you know, make sure, if anything, you have a safe space. You have a bedroom, a space that you can turn to, get something nice, a blanket, a nice pajama set, maybe a stuffed animal, whatever, a cat, dog, you know, a pet, put on some music, Good smelling stuff helps. I like to really play into my senses because I'm very sensory oriented. I really like to make the space very smell, hearing nice. It feels comfy. The textures around me are nice, you know, um, and something just kind of to get the, feelings out. So maybe I'll be hugging something, my pet, a plushie. Maybe I'll listen to sad music that'll make me cry. Something that just makes you feel safe to have these kind of reactions, because that's really what's going to help you just release. Like, even if you can't fix the issue, crying about it is okay, because you need to get that energy out. As I imagine it, it's like something that has happened to you and it's like set into you right here, right? So now it's working its way up, and if you don't cry it out, you know how you feel it in your chest? So I feel like it just stays there and it kind of just gets balled up and harder to get out the next time. So just cry about it. It's okay. Um, and once you cry about it, you'll feel better, and you'll clear it out. It's like a storm clearing out the sky, and then you'll feel better to make your next decision, okay? So when you start doing that, you will start taking on non-people pleasing uh behaviors. That's going to piss off a lot of people. So be prepared to piss off a lot of people. Because let me tell you this, okay? People who have unlimited access to you and you've given that, once you decide, okay, I no longer want to do this, they're going to have a problem with that. They will. Okay? I tell my friends this, and this is how you guys should see it too. My friend can tell me, hey, like, when we're around each other, I don't want to listen to this music anymore. I'd be like, okay. Or like maybe I did something like, hey, you said something about this. Oh, like I'd be more inquisitive. Like, what, like, so I don't do it again. Never would they be like, hey, you did this wrong. I'm gonna have to put boundaries down, and I'm gonna be like, oh, what the fuck you, never. So I think that is an insight of, because I have had people where I have put boundaries down, and then all of a sudden I am the worst person in the world. And like, I've dated dudes, put down the boundary of no sex. Worst person in the world. How could I? Friendships, like, I don't want to do, I don't want to give you money, or I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Worst person in the, I don't care anymore. Because I was giving every part of me, because at a certain point I had forgotten who I was, and I let people kind of decide a little bit. Not all the way, because I still knew there was something, not to do it that way. So I would say like a 30% to 70%. And that's where I feel like a lot of people are that way. They know deep down, but they're trying to rewrite something because maybe they're trying to do something for the wrong reasons, like impressing mom and dad or whatever it might look like, or doing things so the guys think they look cool, or doing things so the girls think they look cool, etc., etc. Not truly what makes you happy. And I think when you start putting boundaries, you start really internalizing what makes you happy, okay? And that's the step. That's the step to everything, is recognizing, really seeing the problem, whatever it is, because then you can move on from there. And I think a lot of people hate the idea that they're the problem, but the thing is, if you're the problem, that is the easiest thing to fix. Because if you tried to fix the person next to you with the same problems versus yourself, you would probably spend far longer fixing them and more energy than if you were just to put it in yourself. And then that would start fixing the people around you. Because people around you, they'll either see that as a threat and not want to be around you anymore, or they'll see it as inspiring and want to change and do better. Okay, you can ask a lot of addicts and stuff. One of the key things for them to heal is to not be surrounded by people who enable drinking or whatever in the environments, because for them that's an issue, right? So, it really does stem from taking accountability, but understand it doesn't make you a crappy person to have made mistakes, to have realized you fucked up or whatever it is, and you made a decision through that. A lot of us were put into crappy situations and had to make decisions out of survival, and those decisions stayed with us into the next situation. And I know that that's difficult to deal with, but you can be easy on yourself and understand that you didn't recognize that you had to put down that armor, right? So, like, how I explain it to my stream is, you geared up for a rainy day today and you're walking, and all of a sudden you don't need a raincoat and you're still wearing your raincoat. It's hot as fuck. All these situations are happening because it's hot as fuck in this raincoat. You're sweating, and like maybe now your boots have sweat in them, and you get a blister, and now walking's difficult. And while we want to blame, the rainstorm, but you're the one who chose to keep the raincoat on, okay? And you got to recognize you don't need the raincoat in the new situation. You don't need that armor, even if it looked like toxic habits. Sometimes you form toxic habits because it's protecting you in the situation that you were in before. And that's where you can give yourself a little grace. Like, okay, like that was self-preservation. That was survival. That's not me anymore, though. Commend yourself for making it through whatever you made it through that you had to be in survival for, because obviously it was no fun situation. But I think a lot of people do not give themselves enough credit and do not give themselves enough grace. And here's the thing, okay, this country is based off of narcissism, okay? So there's some people who give themselves too much credit in the wrong areas, and they know they're lying to themselves, okay? I can't tell you if you're lying to yourself. So if that's your tendency, fix it. But if that's not you, if you are a people pleaser, okay, because people pleasers can be narcissists. Some people please to love bomb and everything like that, in sociopathic ways. Some people please because that's been their environment, and that's the only thing they know how to keep people happy and feel like people like them and they're worthy, right? I remember at one point I was in a circle of friends and they were really cool. I enjoyed them and we got along, and I'm still friends with them on Facebook and stuff. So I think they thought I was like decent at least. But anytime we had a cookout or anything, I just bought as much as I could because like I just wanted to make sure like I'm accepted here, and I knew that okay, if I like help out with the food, like they'd be chill with me at least. And so that was just me, trying to, I don't know, gain that self-worth feeling, but through the validation of others. At a young age, I didn't understand that. But now I know, and I don't have to overexert myself. Like, I could have just showed up as is, and they would have been fine. But for me, because I didn't think that was good enough, I ended up, and at that time, I was dating this douchebag. But anyway, who, yeah, really just tore me down. So, and I know why. I have theories. He's one of those dudes who wants to be in a rock band, and he like preys on young girls, but he's never gonna get there, and not in a mean way, but like some people boast and gloat about things that they don't even possess. I've learned, like that guy. As a matter of fact, I had a girl on here on TikTok who had a ton of followers, and she would literally pretend the shit that I was going through was her story and then brag about stuff as if it was her. Like, it's crazy. Like I don't even want to go into it. People just do that. They feel like they have to overcompensate to be accepted, okay? And once you heal and understand that you're worth everything as you are, okay? And that is everyone watching this. That is being said to you. If there are people in your life that are saying anything opposite, those are not your people. Parents, family, friends, I don't care, okay? First off, your family has no business saying that to you. Family should be supportive, and sometimes, there's the borderline of enabling, but it should be, no matter what, with love. And people tend to be overcritical and stuff like that because they're projecting. That should not happen to you. And if you feel like that's you, maybe you should take some time and explore yourself and go on your own journey, But you gotta really understand that just you being you is worth it. You know, it's worth everything. My friends in my life, I do not care what they give to me. First off, they've done so much for me that I just feel like they deserve all the good things. I only have a few friends because I don't trust many people, but the people that I do trust, they've really pulled through for me, and I think they deserve everything. But only when I get there will I give them, you know, a piece of that, not any time before. Because I've explained it before this way. When you start understanding your worth, okay, you stop letting others determine your worth. You realize you're putting too much and that you were morphing yourself or whatever it looked like just for social acceptance, right? And that can happen through, you know, systemically, family, friends, partners. And like I said, like for me, it was through partners. I dated a guy, and that's when the shift happened. This guy, you could tell he was just threatened by me. He would just insult the hell out of me, but like, why the hell are you dating me if you hate me so much? And also, I was doing like 50-50 with him, probably even more, and working full time and doing like social media stuff at the time for fun, but doing well on it. But it was for fun, and I don't think people really get pissed off at that, I guess. I don't know. But I think at a certain point he felt threatened by, he saw the potential in me and he knew what he was doing with his time, and it reflected how much waste of time that he was doing with, you know, manipulating people and try to make people see this as him. Like, if you want to be a certain way, just work towards that, okay? It's going to take time. But part of the journey, you're going to learn so much, and it's going to shape you into who you want to be. But you can never fake it, especially around people who are real, because real knows fake, okay? Real people have likely, it's much like Christians. Many people who are not Christian have been through Christianity. They know what the fuck is up, okay? It's not that they're not Christian, it's just that they know a lot of it's hypocritical and fake and whatever, okay? So once you understand, oh my god, I was masking or simmering myself down for people, watering myself down for people, you know, my self-worth wasn't there. Once you realize that, then you start being your full-blown self, okay? You don't care. And that's, I've always been at that point, and that's kind of where I've struggled. So when I say that, I full-heartedly mean this. Don't expect things to get easier, okay? Being yourself is satisfying at the end of the day. It's, no matter what, you will draw people who are meant for you. That's why I'm so open about my situations and stuff, because I'm like, A, I'm not the only one. B, okay, like somebody else needs to hear this, and also this brings in somebody who's more knowledgeable of my situation. And maybe they'll help me and also anyone else who reads that comment. But a lot of us, you know, we're around people who they people pleased, so they didn't exactly live to their full potential, okay? So that might be your parents. And then your parents see you doing something crazy, wild, that, you know, might be successful or whatever, and they want to humble you. They want to, you know, they don't want you doing something that's out of whatever. They want you to be a doctor, they want you to be the norm, go to college, have kids, whatever. You don't want to do that because you want to be happy, but to them, what happiness looks like is fitting in with everyone. Even though deep down that's not what happy is for them, they want to be socially accepted. So instead of being themselves and finding their crew, they found the easier route was to dress, act, and pretend to be these people, and then they'll find the other pretenders, and then you get in a mess with that, okay? You get in a circle full of people who are pretending. And here's the thing. I want to believe I will hit 1 million, 3 million this year. That's my goal on one of my platforms, okay? I'd like to think all. But nonetheless. But I always say be wary of people who, you know, I guess have like a lot of friends. And I'm wary of people who have a lot of friends, and I'm wary of people who have no friends. Because if you have a lot of friends, you're willing to people please. You're willing to throw anyone under the bus to appease everyone, okay? If you have no friends, then I wonder, you know, what's going on, but it's not my room to judge. So I just assume you're working on yourself, you know? I think, you know, no problem having 1, 2, 3, 4 close friends, but other than that, when you start having too many friends, sometimes I think, now there are girls who have like friend circles of like 7, 8 girls. I also don't think that's bad. Because I do know you can confide in that many people, and it's healthy and whatever. So take this, you don't have to apply everything that I say to your situation either. This is just my opinion. You could have a totally different opinion. But, yeah, so, but a lot of us are surrounded by people who want to be a certain way and we want to look that way or whatever because in our mind, we're like, oh, we'll fit in, we'll be more, whatever, and then you end up morphing into something you're not. And then people can tell. People can tell, okay? And so it's never going to be comfortable for you. You're always going to be anxious because you have to walk on eggshells. You're always testing to see, okay, am I acting right for this person? Whereas for me, my friends know me. I've always acted a little absurd, a lot absurd in public. I don't care. This is my theory with that is A, I'll never see them again. They won't remember me. B, if they remember me, they probably will remember me because it was weird and they laughed. That's the whole goal, is for me to make them laugh, to be honest. My belly's rumbling. Ignore that. I just like making people happy. I like spreading happiness, making people laugh, etc., etc. So that's, I don't care about, I don't believe in embarrassing myself because I just, I think, I don't know, I just don't care. We all have our issues, so I'll be open about mine. Because I know you have yours, and if you're going to judge me for mine, then I definitely know you have yours. Probably more. So, but nonetheless, a lot of us have this mindset of like, oh, I've got to make a lot of money, or I've got to do this and that, and I've got to please the people around me, but this doesn't make me happy, and that's the hardest step. I remember that step for myself, and actually what started that step was me trusting my left-hand turns. I know that sounds crazy, but when I started driving a car, I would second guess myself turning left. I'd see a car coming, I'm like, and then it'd almost get in a wreck because I'd second guess myself. Whereas if I just went, I would have used those few seconds and not almost got hit, So I was like, okay, I just need to learn to trust myself. So that kind of helped me just trust my judgment in a physical way, right? Because my bike, easy. It's got the torque, it's got the power band, I can split across, but a car is a little slower, right? So I had to learn with my car to just like trust the first decision. And I haven't been in a wreck, thank God. But I think that really helped me kind of put intuitionally like how to trust myself and stuff like that. And I've always really trusted that I'm gonna own a restaurant because that's the only thing I want to do. Maybe I'll die before it happens. I hope it doesn't, but hope I don't.